Hey folks, quick one for you today. I've been kind of fooling around with some bit of random AR parts and a KE arms lower that you can see here that I've had for quite a while now, and I've never been quite satisfied with it in pretty much any way. So it was kind of just like I guess a slave lower for whatever upper I wanted to test at the time, but I never really took this lower too seriously. There's a few reasons for that I'll get into later on. But there's a company called Midstate Firearms that does a bunch of AR stuff, and they have a bunch of cool like titanium nitride coatings, PVD coatings, all different kinds of weird colors and stuff. And I've been a customer of theirs previously, and I've liked their products. And every once in a while, they come out with sales on their uppers and like weird upper combinations they have. Like I think they're one of the only people I know that has like a pre-made or put together assembled 24-inch barrel AR upper, which is pretty cool. I don't know who makes their uppers or barrels or any of that stuff. I don't know where they get their parts from, but anyway, I saw on Reddit Gun Deals, which is a terrible place to go if you like money or like to keep your money anyways. They were having a sale on some uppers, and so I wanted to go with this ultralight 16-inch upper that you see here. And this one is actually pretty interesting. I only paid like what, $215 for it, I think. So it's a very, very thin profile pencil 16-inch barrel there with a standard carbine gas length system there. Kind of a skeletonized handguard here that I like the scallop that they have here in the top, because I really don't like the full length pick rails that are on the top of most handguards. Never really like that. So I like the scallop here, so it only has pick rail up in the front and in the back where it really matters. But yes, there's that. And then the back here for the receiver, you'll notice there's no forward assist on there, so that's cool. It does have the brass deflector, so that's also good. I know it's got the square forge mark on there, so whoever makes that, I can't remember off the top of my head who does. So that's who makes the upper here. The barrel, I'm not sure who makes that. It is marked 5.56 NATO 1-in-7 twist on the front here. So whatever company does that, I guess. Standard A2 flash hider, nothing special there. But yeah, I just got this because it was cheap, it was on sale, and I've had good luck from Midstate before. And so I put it together on this lower that was sitting around not doing anything, so wanted to try it out and see how it would go. And I figured it kind of fit with the theme of the whole, like, if you've watched the What Would Stoner Do project that Ian McCollum, Carl, and Russell Fagan all kind of put together a few years ago, this is the result of that. So anyway, for this lower, again, I've not been satisfied with it because I bought it as a build lower, essentially, so I could put all the parts in myself. What an absolute pain in the ass. I never want to put together another one of these uppers or lowers ever again for any reason. And there's a few reasons for that, because the construction of how they had to do this, it's not like your regular metal lowers. So pretty much once you put something in here, it's kind of stuck in here for the long term unless you really, really want to dig it out. But these are not meant to be quickly swappable, interchangeable for triggers and safeties and that kind of thing. So that kind of sucks. The other part that sucks too is the takedown pins here are not captive in any way, and there is no place to store them on the lower at all. I think some other versions of this lower might have like little holes that you can store the pins in, but this one doesn't. So I really don't like that. The pins themselves for the trigger, you kind of have to be careful with those. You can see this one here is already walking out the other side. I haven't really shot this all that much either. But I just use a standard like CMMG lower parts kit, whatever, nothing special, milspec type stuff. So yeah, the finish of this as well is really not that good. So I don't know how or who was finishing this, but like, I don't know if that comes through in the camera, but you can see the beveling there. It looks like someone just took a friggin' Dremel and was just like, like just did not care. So that's not great. The fitment between every single upper that I've had with this lower has been absolutely terrible. And you can see kind of the air gap right there. That's really, really annoying. I don't like that, especially if you're trying to shoot something suppressed and all that gas just comes straight out right there directly into your face pretty much. That's not fun. And depending on which upper that you're trying to charge as well, depending on if your angle is not quite right when you're pulling this, it can get stuck and hung up and bound up with the tube back here. So you kind of have to press like kind of down and then back to get it in line, so that way the bolt and the buffer and everything can cycle appropriately in the tube there. So that's not great. I do like the magwell beveling here. That's pretty nice. Makes the mags going nice and fast, so that's pretty cool. That is a nice feature, but pretty much everything else about this lower is kind of hokey, honestly. I'm not a huge fan, and I do appreciate the innovation that the guys took to make this kind of thing, but it's not for me. You know, this is just a fun build. I will not make this serious or anything. The other cool thing about these lowers is that even though it is a fixed stock, it is a A1 length stock, which a lot of people seem to prefer more over than the A2s. The A2s tend to be just a little bit longer, so the A1s tend to fit most people pretty well, including myself. I think this is quite comfy, and it fits me pretty well. So the grip as well is also not too bad. Honestly, it's got plenty of grip. The texture is good, and it doesn't have that stupid what do you call it, the little finger flange here that the A2 grips have. I'm really glad it doesn't have that, because I hate that. I absolutely hate that on A2s. So yeah, not bad. So altogether, this thing really doesn't weigh all that much at all. I put a chrome bolt carrier in here as well, so Microbest chrome. Chrome is the way to go for bolt carriers, I think. It has made this thing actually so slick, so great, super easy to clean, and I think it looks nice. I also put some Manta rail covers on here because one afternoon when I went to go take this shooting, it was like 105 outside, and it was in the sun. And I was putting maybe like 100 rounds through this thing in pretty quick succession, and the handguard got too hot for me to hold because pencil barrels heat up. Of course, all the heat's coming off from the gas block right there, and if you're not careful, of course, depending on how you hold it with your fingers, you can get pretty close to that gas block right there, and ouch, you can get a burn. So the heat definitely comes out of this thing significantly and quickly as well. But that's the nature of pencil barrels and having an ultra ventilated handguard like this. It's going to happen. For accuracy, so despite everything with how this thing is set up and how janky it is, I got some decent accuracy. We're getting like 2 to 3 MOA out of this gun, and with just standard M193 ball, nothing crazy. I didn't try any match ammo. I didn't try any magnified optics. Everything was shot here with this SIG Romeo MSR2 Gen 2 with the green dot. So this was also a test bed for this optic as well, to see how it would shoot, and it shot pretty well, I would say. So acceptable accuracy, not fantastic. Then again, I didn't expect that out of a $200 upper, so it's not too crazy. But if you really did need to do some kind of serious work, I guess, with this, absolutely you could. Just wouldn't be my first choice. So reliability was very good. Had no issues with it. I did have a bad bolt though, and some bad ammunition that, when put together, made this thing a JMO-matic. It was bad. So I eventually did some more testing with that bolt and the ammo, and it turned out to be, yes, it was a bolt that is out of spec, and then the ammo as well was also bad. So at first I thought it was just the upper being kind of, because it was $200, I was like, man, this is garbage, right? That's why they were selling it for so cheap. But then I put a good bolt in it, and I shot it with good ammo, and everything worked out just fine. So as far as like a shooting experience, like recoil and stuff like that, these shorter rifles like this will produce more recoil, more blast, all that stuff. I only have a standard carbine buffer and spring back here, so it is a little punchy and a little jumpy, more than like an A2 or 18-inch or mid-length. But that's to be expected, of course. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. When you start having ARs in configurations like this, of course, yes, it will recoil a little more. Not as much as my M4, but then again, the M4 also weighs way more than this one does, and has a lot of nicer features in it. So. But yeah, so for what this is and what I wanted to do with it, just kind of put it together because I had this spare lower laying around and nothing to do with it, and threw this lightweight upper on there. It's a nice little fun shooter, nothing super serious like I usually do for other stuff. But it's fun for what it is, and I really do appreciate the lightweight of this. It kind of reminds me like when you go from like an A4 or an A2 or other large AR, and then you go to an A1, and it's like, oh my gosh, the weight difference is just, it's great. That's kind of how I feel with this and like other 16-inch AR carbines, this doesn't weigh anything, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, a little bit of a micro review as well for the KE Arms lower. I really do not recommend these hardly at all. They're cool, I guess, but I would never take one seriously, to be honest. Like, it's just, yeah. So anyway, I figured I'd bring this one to you guys. It's just something I wanted to put together and see how it turned out, and I'm quite happy with it. So I will keep shooting it, and you know, if I got a big group of friends going out or whatever, we need some more rifles to shoot, and somebody doesn't have an AR or wants to try one, you know, give them this and just let them rip with it. You know, what's the worst that could happen? So anyway, that's it for this, and yeah, we'll see you next time.